Hi, everyone, and welcome to Fashion Decipher. My name is Sean Williams, and this episode will be a Fashion Decipher fashion short, or our version of a short. It's shorter than our normal episodes. The topic today is the ugly Christmas sweater. The ugly Christmas sweater has been around for ages, and you may hate them, you've seen them everywhere, you may love them, and you have worn them, or you may have been gifted one and it's stuck in the back of your dresser drawer. So let's get into the origins of the ugly Christmas sweater. It was originally called the Jingle Bell sweater. The first time they were mass produced was in the 1950s, and then sometime in the 1970s, knitwear became popular as the technology in sewing became more advanced. Then you add in the holiday Christmas season becoming more commercialized. So did the popularity of these sweaters, but it wasn't until the 80s that the ugly Christmas sweater became a hot item. And this was all due to a very famous 80s sitcom and all the holiday Christmas movies that came out around that time. To start this off, you have to credit the many multicolored, multi-patterned sweaters worn by the TV character Cliff Huxtable throughout the 80s. Then you can move on to Chevy Chase's National Lampoon Christmas Vacation in 1989. If you remember that movie, if you were old enough to remember that movie, because if you're young, you don't know it unless you watched, you streamed it somewhere. But if you remember that movie, the family in that film was called the Griswolds, and they were decked out in holiday sweaters in every pattern and color. That same year, you have John Candy's Uncle Buck, where the young niece and nephew were wearing holiday sweaters. So somewhere around the 1990s, the holiday Christmas sweater craze died down until the movie Bridget Jones' Diary was released. And in that film, one of the characters, Mark Darcy, played by Colin Firth, was mocked for wearing one to a party. It had a big reindeer on the front. But how did something that was such a holiday eyesore, when opened as a gift, became the hottest holiday garment? You can attribute this to the past couple of decades. There is a book out called The Ugly Christmas Sweater Party, The Definitive Guide to Getting Your Ugly On. It claims that two guys from Vancouver, British Columbia, started the tradition of throwing the first ever ugly Christmas party in 2002. And what started as a joke took on a very different meaning much thereafter. Then, by the year 2007 or 2008, Google shows that searches on the ugly Christmas sweater parties began to soar, and the trend took off worldwide. Then the ugly Christmas sweater does what? Hit the high fashion runways. Of course, this happens. Back in 2007, designer Stella McCartney debuted a polar bear sweater. Then Marc Jacobs debuted embellished cardigan. Givenchy had an Angora pullover. Preen had a star sweater, and Marcus Luther had a wreath design. And this is just to name a few of the high fashion brands that adopted the ugly Christmas sweater. Then hip hop joined the hype, and they put their own twist on it. Rapper 2 Chainz's team was testing out a couple of different styles of shirts. They were trying to see what their fans would gravitate to, and in 2015, they struck gold. They took the ugly Christmas sweater and added the hottest dance craze in Atlanta at the time. The dance was called the dab. The dab is a gesture where a person tilts his head and one arm is angled and the other one is stretched out in the other direction, in a parallel direction. The team designed a sweater with Santa on the front doing the dab. The sweaters, of course, were a hit, and they netted the rapper and his team $2 million in sales. What's good about buying the dab sweaters from 2 Chainz is a large portion of the proceeds go to his True Foundation, which funds charities that donates to arts education, disabled children, and homeless vets. So if you're going to wear ugly Christmas sweater, that's a good one to get because it goes to a worthy cause. Then, of course, hip hop keeps evolving, and with the ugly Christmas sweater, and Kanye West and Pharrell both donned the ugly Christmas sweater soon thereafter in 2016. And of course, my personal fave, Wu-Tang, has an ugly Christmas sweater. Not sure if those are manufactured by them though. According to the uglychristmassweater.com, the Wu-Tang sweaters are officially licensed. So I guess it's official. Also, Jimmy Fallon started a segment on his late night show called The 12 Days of Christmas Sweaters. You may be asking yourself at this point, what is left for the ugly Christmas sweater to accomplish? It should have its own day. Guess what? It does. this is a thing. Ugly Christmas Sweater Day is every third Friday of December. It is called the National Ugly Sweater Day. This is a day that everyone bands together and wears an ugly Christmas sweater. Everybody but me, because I still don't own one yet. And Nike has created their own version of the holiday ugly Christmas sweater and made them into sneakers. Nike calls it the Nordic Pack. It released 3 different shoe styles: Air Max 90s, Air Force One highs, and Blazer mid 77s. The Air Max 90s and the Blazer mid 77s dropped on December 7th, which both sold out as soon as they dropped. The Air Force Ones will be dropping on December 30th. Not really sure why this is happening after the holiday, but you could buy them now and wear them later, I guess. You can get ready for next holiday, 2021's Ugly Christmas Sweater National Day. And if you're a person who doesn't want to buy your ugly Christmas sweater because you're super creative, you can make your own. People get really creative with these DIY versions of the ugly Christmas sweater. There are a plethora of how-tos online and accessories to use to make your own. You can plan it as a family crafting experience along with board games during the holiday season. You can even make them and, take photos of them and make them your holiday Christmas card. So, what did we learn this episode about the ugly Christmas sweater? It isn't that ugly anymore. It has become one of the most desired items of clothing every Christmas. And I personally need to jump on this bandwagon and buy one for myself. Probably gonna rock the wool one, but that's just me. So we wanted to give a little Christmas cheer, a holiday cheer to this fashion episode. It is the holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you from Fashion Decipher. If you don't celebrate Christmas and you celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa to you from Fashion Decipher. And if you celebrate Hanukkah, which I know it passed, but Happy Hanukkah to you from Fashion Decipher. So we all need a little cheer and holiday lightheartedness during this very bumpy 2020. And we will speak to you next year. Hopefully all good things. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays from Fashion Decipher. Bye. Hi guys, it's Sean. Make sure you visit our website, fashiondecipher.com, to get a visual on what we're talking to you about. Check out pics from events, of guest speakers, and exhibits. If you miss anything we post, you can visit our archives page. Also, while you're there, hit that subscribe button. Leave your email, and if you like, a comment. Tell us what you think or what you would want to hear on an upcoming episode. Don't forget to follow and friend Fashion Decipher on social media. Check out what we're up to. Speak with you next week.